A soldier, Stripe Cohenange, dreams of his wife. His commander, Medina, wakes him up. A village has been raided by mutants, called roaches. They head out in 5 minutes. Stripe is going on his first roach hunt. They get into the truck, and head out. They reach the village, and talk to villagers. They didn't see the roaches, but they heard them. They raided the food supply. A girl comes up to Stripe, and tells him to stop them. Medina is able to get the rough location of the roaches, from the villagers. They go to the location. Each soldier has a neural implant, called mass, that provides data via augmented reality. They scout the location, using a drone. Another soldier, Hunter, shoots a tracking device at a house. It gives them a blueprint of the house. They go to the house, and knock on the door. A man opens the door. Medina asks him about the roaches, while the other soldiers check the house. Medina tries to convince the man that roaches are infecting the regular people, and they need to be killed, otherwise, they are going to bring pain and misery to normal humans. Stripe comes across a nest of roaches. He kills one, but another tries to flash an LED light in his face. They run outside, but the soldiers chase after it. Stripe gets into a fist fight with one of the roaches. He kills it. He picks up the device and accidentally flashes himself. Stripe releases a bird, and the soldiers burn the house down. Stripe is happy, he managed to kill 2 roaches for his first time. At night, Stripe is rewarded with an erotic dream, but his mask starts glitching. Next day, Stripe and Rye are training to kill roaches. During the training, his mask starts glitching again. Stripe is doing push-ups later, when his mask glitches again. Medina checks up with him, and tells him to go to the sick bay. They run diagnostics on him, and tell him that his mask is working fine, and he is in a good shape, physically. He tells the doctor about the LED flash device. But the doctor tells him that everything is fine. It could just be a side effect from seeing combat for the first time. He tells Stripe to speak to Arquette, a psychologist. Arquette talks to him about his first roach kill. He asks him, how did it feel, killing the roach with the knife? He says he felt relief, because he had to kill in self-protection. He thought he would feel some regret, but he didn't feel anything like that. Arquette asks, why is he here then? He tells Arquette about his mask glitching. Arquette confirms that everything is fine. Stripe should be proud of being able to kill 2 roaches. He programs Stripe's mask to give him a real good sleep. Stripe gets another erotic dream. But his mask starts glitching again. He wakes up and looks at other soldiers, twitching in their sleep. Next morning, soldiers are providing aid to the villagers. They decide to raid a housing complex. They use the drone to scout the complex. Stripe's mask starts glitching. He picks up some grass and starts smelling. They can't usually smell it, but now he can. A sniper shoots Medina. They start shooting at the sniper. Rye uses the drone to know the location of the sniper. The roach shoots the drone. Stripe and Rye run into the complex. Stripe's mask glitches, and he is able to hear the bird sounds, which he couldn't before. They get inside the complex and find a ton of electronics and some schematics for a device. Stripe comes across a woman and calms her down. As the woman leaves, Rye shoots her down. Rye kicks open a door and shoots some roaches. She kills some more roaches. She is about to kill a woman and her child, but Stripe intervenes. He knocks her unconscious after she shoots him in the stomach. Rye wakes up and watches Stripe running with the mother and the kid. Stripe passes out from the bleeding while driving. The woman, Katerina, carries him out of the car and takes him into a hidden cave. She takes care of his wound. Stripe wakes up. She gives him some water, but he refuses. Katerina is surprised. Stripe sees her as a human and not as a roach. She reveals that the mass implants alter their vision, hearing, and smell. So, they see them as roaches. One of them, Luca, made a machine that flashes light and interferes with the implant. Rye arrives to the car. He is in disbelief, saying the villagers and the locals don't have implants. Yet, they are still scared of the roaches. She says that everybody hates them because of the propaganda against them. It all began 10 years ago, post-war, first the emergency response, then DNA check, then register. The media started calling them filthy creatures. They started spreading the propaganda that they have a sickness in their blood. One that cannot be continued to go on. Rye finds the hidden cave. She kills Katerina and her kid. She takes Stripes back to the facility. Arquette arrives and talks to Stripe. He apologizes to him for not being able to spot the fault in his mass. He shows him the flash device. It transmits a code, like a virus, that shuts down the mass from within. In the past, during the World Wars, only 15 to 20% of the soldiers would pull the trigger. It turns out that humans are not really comfortable with killing each other. Then during the Vietnam War, soldiers trained and conditioned themselves. The shooting goes up by 85%, but the kills were still low. And the soldiers who did manage to kill came back with serious mental issues. So mass was developed to help with targeting, comms, and conditioning. It alters the perception and changes the targets from humans to roaches, making it a lot easier for soldiers to kill. It affects other senses too, so that soldiers don't smell blood and shit and can't hear their screaming. These people need to die because of their weak genes. The genetic cleansing needs to happen for a better future generation. He knew all of this. He consented to all of this before getting his memory wiped. He doesn't believe him. Arquette shows him the consent video that they recorded for proof. Stripe gets angry and throws the laptop. Arquette uses the mask to make him temporarily blind. He tells Stripe the options he have. He can have his mask reset and all the problematic memories erased from his mind. Or he can go to prison. Stripe wants the mask to be removed. Arquette shows him what life's like without masks by showing him the original footage of all his killings. The feed shows him killing humans, which he previously believed to be roaches. Stripe starts screaming to stop the feed. Arquette tells him that if he chooses imprisonment, he'll be shown this feed on loop. And he'll feel everything, and smell the blood, and hear the screams. But he can make all this go away, including the conversation that they are having right now. But he has to consent for it first. Stripe consents, and has his memory wiped. Now a decorated officer, he goes to a house from his erotic dreams. He looks at the house, which his mass alters to be a green, lush, and happy place with his wife inside, but in reality, is a dilapidated, empty house. The episode ends with him smiling, as tears roll down his face. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.